I'm Dr. Binu. In IoT sensors and devices subject, the first topic in the first unit is active and passive sensors. What are active sensors? Active sensors are those that require an external power source to operate. They emit energy in the form of waves or signals, and they are used to measure the response that comes back after interacting with the environment. Some of the examples of active sensors are radar, that is radio detection and ranging, which emits radio waves and it measures the time it takes for the echoes to return, used in weather monitoring and weight detection. The second one is LIDAR, that is light detection and ranging, which uses laser light to measure the distances by calculating the time it takes for the light to reflect back, which is often used in autonomous vehicles. The third one is ultrasonic sensors, which emit ultrasonic waves and measure the time of flight for the waves to return, which is normally used in distance measuring and object detection. The next example for the active sensors are sonar, that is sound navigation and radio, which uses sound waves to detect objects and measure distances underwater. Next one is proximity sensors, which emit a beam of energy. The energy may be normally infrared or electromagnetic, which is used to detect the presence of nearby objects. The next one is active infrared sensors, which emit infrared radiation and detect the reflected signal. Some of the advantages of active sensors are: first one, can be used in a variety of environmental conditions. The second point is it is capable of providing information about the target's velocity and distance. Some of the drawbacks of active sensors are typically more expensive due to their complexity. The next drawback is which requires more power to operate. Next, we will see the definition of passive sensors. Passive sensors do not emit any energy themselves. They detect and measure natural energy that is emitted or reflected by the objects or surroundings. Some of the examples of passive sensors are: first one is photocells, which detect light intensity and is commonly used in automatic lighting systems. The second example is thermometer, which measures temperature by detecting thermal radiation. Next one is infrared sensors. They detect infrared radiation, that is heat, emitted by the object, which is normally used in night vision equipment and heat-seeking devices. Next one is temperature sensor, which is also one of the passive sensor, which measure ambient temperature without emitting any energy. The next passive sensor is pressure sensor, which detect changes in pressure without requiring an external energy source. Next passive sensor is humidity sensor, which measure the moisture content in the air. Some more passive sensors are light sensors. They detect the presence and the intensity of the light. Next passive sensor is chemical sensor, which detect specific chemicals or gases in the environment. Motion sensors, they are also the type of a passive sensor which detect movement without actively emitting energy. Then camera, next one is camera sensor or image sensors, which capture visual information from the environment. Accelerometer, this is passive sensor which detect acceleration and changes in motion. Gyroscope, which detects angular velocity and orientation. Flow sensor, they are also passive sensors which measure the rate of fluid flow. Biomedical sensors used for various physiological measurement. Advantages of passive sensors. Generally, these passive sensors are simple and they cheap cheaper to produce. The second one is require less power to operate. Drawbacks of passive sensors are limited to energy naturally available in the environment. Second drawback is they may have slower response time compared to active sensors. The comparison of active and the passive sensors, we can compare the both sensors by means of different features, energy source, illumination, as well as examples. Both types of sensors play crucial roles in data collection across various fields, and choice between them depends on the specific requirement of the application, such as cost, power availability, and the environmental conditions. Thank you.